What's good, YouTube? What's good, YouTube? I am back. Just made it home from work, and I have some exciting news to bring y'all today. Thanks to Tszyu. Shout out to Tszyu. That was Tszyu. 24 wins, 17 knockouts, and 0 losses versus Tony Harrison. Yes, Tony. Tony Harrison, the one that fought Jamal Charlo 2 times, got the win the first time and got TK'd in the 11th round by Charlo. Then he goes up to fight Tszyu. Well, he ain't go to fight up. He ain't go up in weight. They fought at 154. Tony Harrison and Tszyu. Tony Harrison could not get the win with his boxing ability, his jab, his slick movement. Tszyu TKO Tony Harrison in the 9th round, as y'all can see. Then he started making noise. He got put on the radar. Once he beat Tony Harrison, he was calling out for Jamel Charlo. But you know Jamel, mental health, injury with his hand. So that pushed it a little far back. Then, once that was done, he calls out the champ.
Tszyu says he would love a fight with Errol Spence.
Yeah, I don't know. He's just got all these problems against me. He's talking smack, so.
And when did the beef start between you two?
Man, there's no beef. Honestly, no beef on my side. It's just he's running his mouth and he's just talking bad. So let's get it on.
And when can you see that fight, a Tszyu versus Errol Spence fight?
It's all up to him. Whenever he decides to move up to 154.
Called out Errol Spence Jr. And this was before Errol Spence and Terence Crawford fight. So Tszyu, he's been getting better and better each fight. At 154, he holds the WBO junior middleweight champion. So shout out to Tszyu. Errol was busy at that time, and so was Jamal. So he took on Brian McDonald's, and that was a great fight. That was a great fight right there. All 12 rounds, action-packed. Because let me tell you about Tszyu, right? Tszyu he sticks to the game plan. And he's poised. He's gonna press you all 12 rounds. He's not gonna get distracted. He's gonna stay on your ass, in your face, all 12 rounds. So that was a great fight right there. Tszyu came with the victory. But now, you have Saudi Arabia wanting to see Terence Bud Crawford, 40 wins, 31 knockouts, 0 losses. Just finished whooping on Errol Spence. They want to see this man fight the unbeaten WBO junior middleweight Tszyu at 154. That is a big fight right there. Not to mention, that's the big announcement. Terence Crawford versus Tszyu. Yes, that's needed. Especially we didn't want to see Terence Crawford retire because it's no reason to do the rematch with Errol Spence, especially with the eye injury and how bad he lost. Right? So we didn't want to see that. Jamel's running and Canelo. Terence is not in Canelo plan. So we have to get on Canelo radar, right? And I think this is a perfect match, perfect fight to get Terence Crawford on Canelo radar. Picture it. Terence beat Tszyu in a just a tremendous way. He whoops on Jamel because Jamel comes back out, and then go up to fight Canelo. That's a crazy setup right there. But this is the big announcement. Terence Crawford and Tszyu in Saudi Arabia. It won't be big like Errol Spence. But let me tell you, Tszyu is a Sydney, Australia fighter. So he has a huge fan base, right? And we looking to, take some of them fans that night. But Tszyu is not a slouch. Let's get that correct. Like I was saying before, he's poised. He sticks to the game plan. He places his punches. Heavy hitter. And he brings the pressure all 12 rounds. All 12 rounds. Now, y'all know what Terence Crawford is. He's a great fighter. I'm not going to break Terence Crawford down. Not this show, because we know what Terence Crawford is, right? But what Terence Bud Crawford is going to capitalize on, I'm going to just give y'all that. Tim does not have a great jab. He doesn't have a great jab. Like I say, he places his punches. He stands in range after throwing his punches. We seen what Terence did to Errol Spence. Counter puncher. Speed with the counter puncher. So Tim, you staying in range if you want to. Right? Trying to place them good shots. And that's another thing. He leave himself open a lot. Go back and watch Tszyu. He leave himself wide open. Terence Crawford have a great jab. Yes. So, and my final thing about Tszyu, what he need to work on is that steady placement right hand. He'll have it like this, right? And then he'll have his hand like this. Oh, he'll have his hand like this and have it like this. So you can see when he's going to throw it, where he's going to throw it, timing. That's the ring IQ Terence Crawford going to have that night. You can't just sit there with the jab playing and have your hand back here. We see that from a mile away, not to a guy like Terence Crawford. No way. So that steady place punishment is not gonna beat Terence Crawford. The speed, the switch, the southpaw, the orthodox, the uppercuts, just all around great fighter. But this is gonna be a great fight based on what I told you. Poise, stick to the game plan, and that pressure all 12 rounds. That's all I have for y'all. I was at work. I seen that. I said, Lord, I got to give this to the fans. My son, Terence Crawford, is not retiring. Not today. Not this year. Make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe. Stay tuned. More boxing 24. Kobe year.